Good morning, Pokemon players. We are coming at you with our second update, the updates I plan to do every week for our Ultimate Shiny Collection. Now, I have here, it is Monday morning at the time of recording this, and it's going to be uploaded right away, but I had transferred in a Shiny Kartana that I got in Pokemon Go, thanks to some help from, Sennari's community. I want to ask them if it's okay if I go ahead and link them in the description. So if you see this at first, there may not be a link there, but if you check it out later, depending on if I get the okay from them, I may get that. But thanks to them, I managed to pick up this shiny Kartana in a Pokemon Go raid that I had hosted. So I was the one hosting, but it was them jumping in that helped me defeat it and catch it, and it ended up coming out shiny. So I was particularly pleased with that one. It's I know Ultra Beasts are separate from legendaries, but functionally they're like legendaries with the way you have to obtain them and reset them or encounter them. But we have this one coming in. So we're going to go ahead and filter this into our boxes right now. In fact, this Kartana is going to mark Pokemon number 412 that is registered in home in our shiny collection. I'll be pulling up the spreadsheet in a minute. And just to kind of go over what we got for this week. So there's the Kartana that we got from Sennari's community. I did stumble upon a Runerigus that was in my boxes, so that was nice. I got that filtered in. I caught up with my spouse, who is helping me with this with her Pokemon Go collection and making it so that I don't have to do everything on my own. And thanks to her support, we did find that there are an extra roughly 70 Pokemon that she has in Pokemon Go that are just waiting to be transferred to home. In addition to that, when we combined her home collection with her Go collection, we did find over 170 things and started getting some of those traded over this week and filtered into here. So she did her transfers last night. We did some trades this weekend to go ahead and fill in some of these things. For example, some of these, the Alolan Sandslash and the Alolan Persian I had gotten thanks to her support on that. Same with the Alolan Muck. Now, I know that part of the caveat of this is that I cannot do online trades with people, with viewers, with Twitch in order to fill these slots. The only reason that I am allowing the collection to get this support from my wife is because we play together, we're side by side, so I know with the integrity of these that I'm not getting anything that is potentially, maybe a little shady in how it might have come about. I did move a bunch of Pokemon from Legends over here just to try and fill in some Dex roster. I have also been having a Hatcher running to try and get Torchics in Pokemon Sword. So far, I've gotten the full male line and one female Torchic, so I still need two more females to fill the female collection out, and I am ending up with spare male shiny Torchics. So, heads up for anybody out there who maybe wants a shiny Torchic, be on the lookout. I have the Discord channel, I stream on Twitch, and I'll be letting know when I decide to go and do a giveaway for these Torchics. I might give them away on a couple of different platforms. So let me go ahead and check the Kartana here. This is one of the things, 798 that we're taking for the Kartana. So we're moving you over to 798. 810. Hold on. 81, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 98 is that one right there. Shiny Kartana is now in its forever home. Thank you very much. Once again, shout out to Sennari's community. Senari, I think it was spelled. But they stream on Twitch. They got their own Discord channel. They do a lot of Pokemon and other stuff. I've seen them streaming some other games. They were doing Mario on Mario Day, actually. So again, shout out to them. Be sure to check them out. Show them some love and respect. So the Kartana's transferred in. Oh, we hit Score Bunny Community Day. Now, because I was holding out on my transfer energy to move those, I did not manage to transfer the Score Bunnies over yet, but those are in Pokemon Home, or in Pokemon Go, waiting to transfer over. I got my phone running Go as it is, and I did end up with 23 Score Bunny, probably more than I'm ever going to be able to transfer, especially because my transfers have to prioritize the things that are filling this collection. I can't just transfer all the Score Bunnies. So maybe if we add some Go friends, people who hit that Forever Friend status, maybe I'll drop them some extra shiny Score Bunnies into my Forever Friend box. Which by the time I hit Forever Friends with any new people, it's going to be a while. They'll be a month old by that point. Let's see. I've also sorted out the postcards that I have in Pokemon Go because I broke down the Vivillons that we needed. Let me go ahead and grab the little display here. So this is the spreadsheet. I showed a little bit of the spreadsheet. We need to grab the Vivillon. What is it? This one? There we go. Our Vivillon one. 3 of the Vivillon have been transferred over and are now housed in Pokemon Home. What we have is also 3 Vivillon shinies that are different forms that Jenny has. So there's all of these other forms plus the unobtainable Pokeball form for shiny patterns that I can get. Now the fancy one, I believe the fancy one is the default for Scarlet and Violet. So I do need to do a hunt for that in Scarlet. But I was going through and marking all of the postcards for the different forms so that I can hunt them in Scarlet day by day. I'll probably be doing streams of just hunting individual Vivillons from time to time. But I did find that I am currently missing postcards for 2 regions. The ones that should give me the sun pattern and the sandstorm pattern, which, according to my research, is in certain countries in Africa and in the Middle East for those patterns. So I am going to be looking out for those postcards. Again, anybody out there for Pokemon Go, I do have my friend code up on the Discord channel. Just in case anybody else is wanting to add friends, I have been trying to send gifts to my entire friends list every day. As long as I can get the time to run through our little downtown area nearby the house, I can get a full set. I know I'm mostly caught up on the gifts that I can send currently until people open yesterday's gifts, and I can send more this afternoon before I go to work. So that's the Vivillon hunting that's related to Go and Scarlet. Like I said, sun and sandstorm patterns I'm missing. Upcoming things for this week. Things that I am specifically targeting and gunning for. I need to go ahead and sort through my Pokemon on ZA. I have gotten a handful of shinies there. I could mark some of them as shinies that I have on standby waiting for Pokemon Home access, just so that I don't have to hunt things that I already have shinies of. I believe I have Noibat and Noivern already covered somewhere, but just in case there's other ones floating around, I want to make sure that I have them covered. I also need to go ahead and plan on prepping for a Gimmighoul and Goldengo hunt. I do need to hunt, since Gimmighoul is in ZA, I can shiny hunt it in hyperspace, but that's going to be a real doozy of a hunt. I do have Shiny Charm already ready, but I do need to go ahead and maybe juggle around the donuts, try and get some high-powered donuts that'll give me enough time to really go for that Gimmighoul hunt, since I do want to get the Gimmighoul and the Goldengo shiny, and outside of events in Pokemon Scarlet, there's no other way to get them right now. I do also need to keep an eye out for events in Go for whenever they make a shiny available for the roaming form. So that's another thing I need to keep an eye out for, which, maybe if I get lucky, an event for that will come along before too long. I can hope, cross my fingers, and maybe actually try and get two of them, because then maybe I could just evolve the roaming form instead of having to hunt for two chest forms. It's basically just going to be a whatever comes first situation. Uh, Pokemon Go has raids coming up this week. Starting on Wednesday is Zamazenta. Now, Zacian, I actually do not need, because fortunately, that is one of the Pokemon that is marked that my wife has in Pokemon Go. So she is going to be sending one of those over when her meter charges, when it comes around to that. I was kind of floating around a little bit in Pokemon Go, jumping into a couple of raids, but not hunting it too hard, just in case I manage to find it first, before she goes and transfers hers over from Go to home. But Zamazenta, neither of us have, so that's a shiny I'm going to be hunting for to get the shield dog, as well as what is this? Registering regional Pokemon in the Pokedex. So something that I do also need to try and put a focus on. Just to show here. Now, I think that what I'm looking at is the tracker in home, and I'm hoping that I'm correct in that. So I know home gives some shiny mythical if you fill the Pokedex with Pokemon that originated from certain games. I do have the Galar one almost absolutely 100 completed. I just have to get, I think, one more thing over, which I am still playing through a save on Sword, so I can just pick it up while I'm in there. But there is also a handful of Pokemon in Hisui that I have to get, specifically that I have to catch them and then in that game, and then transfer them into home from there. So Petalil, Krogunk, it's mostly the common stuff. The legendaries, some of these objectives are still marked as question marks, which I'm guessing they fill in after you actually fill some of these out to get those set. And I do have a handful in Paldea. I'm pretty sure these are the Ruin Pokemon and the ride Pokemon, both of which I have put into home at some point, but I'm pretty sure I need to go ahead and get the Iron Valiant to unlock it, which I should have one floating around somewhere. If I don't have one floating around, there'll be one on my wife's Pokemon home. Then there's the Dolphin Pokemon that's in there, Wugtrio. So just a couple of things. Most of them should be easy enough for me to obtain one way or another, and then transfer over as needed. I'm not really stressing those out too much. The Hisui one will be a little more taxing. I do have to spend some more time, just because there's a bigger list of things for me to get. But then there's also mythicals that you get for completing Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which I don't have a copy of either of those games. I had initially said that I was not going to buy those games, so I am on the lookout to see if maybe I can get a loaner from someone. So those are just a few of the upcoming things for this week that I'm focusing on, sorting and consolidating my ZA boxes so that I can, filter out what I don't need, registering the region Pokemon, and looking specifically for Zamazenta in the raids. That starts on Wednesday, which is my next day off of work. Now, continuous projects. Things that I have started or will be continuing on. Deoxys Hunt. I am homing in on this Deoxys Hunt because it is going to be one of the most tedious hunts that I have to deal with. Because as far as I am aware, it can only be obtained legitimately shiny in two ways. Pokemon Go, which I could not for the life of me find raids for it last week when it was, so I wasn't able to really hunt them as diligently as I would have liked, considering there were a lot of other legendaries and ultra beasts crowding the raids, so the Deoxys was spread very thin. But I need to get 4 of them because it has 4 forms, and each of those forms can be stored in home as far as I am aware. The normal speed, attack, and defense form. Defense is my favorite, just because super bulky, super awesome. And I need to beat Leaf Green well, 3 more times. I already beat it the once, but I am resetting, and I love my wife. She has challenged me with the additional caveat of every 5 resets, I got to do some exercise. She suggested squats, but I'm going to be mixing it up next time because the last time I was doing resets, I ended up doing at least 175 squats. And my legs were shot for like the next 5 days after that. I'd like to, maybe spread it out and do some resistance bands. I can do some curls, some chest, some press, some legs. I'm going to mix it up so that I am working on my fitness while also doing the Deoxys resets. Although I may alter it, and instead of doing 5 reps for 5 resets, I may do 10 and 10. But that I am actually going to be live streaming that on Wednesday night. Wednesday night, 9 p.m. US Eastern, for anybody, wanting to follow along. I'm going to be doing those Deoxys resets. I have my little turbo controller here where I can just hold down the A button and it'll mash through. And then I see a not shiny Deoxys. I smash the buttons and I'm good to go. Dynamax Adventures for Sword and Shield is another thing we are setting up. In fact, that's what we're going to be streaming on Thursday night. So anybody who's seeing this before Thursday, not 16, Thursday the 18th, no, Thursday the 19th, Thursday, March 19th, we're going to be on Twitch doing Dynamax Adventures for anybody that wants to join in, help out, do some shiny hunts. If maybe some people out there want to host one, I do have my main Switch and a secondary Switch that my wife's Switch is on. So I'll be able to have 2 Switches on there under my control if we don't have a full group of 4. If we get at least 2 other people, I can handle the other 2 spots on there to be trying like hell to get those shinies. We'll be working on that for that whole duration. And the Vivillon hunts with the postcards, I don't know if I'm actually going to get into any of those this week. There is going to be a little bit of that. I am also continuing to run my my sword version hatch program to try and get that female shiny Torchic. Unfortunately, it is very tedious because Torchic is already very low spawn rate for females, and having to get 2 shiny females out of boxes and boxes and boxes of eggs, and it's a lot. But that's what we're looking at. To look at now, just to go through our last final numbers real quick, we have 412 Pokemon that are fully registered and completed in our shiny decks on home for all the forms here. 412 total. 344 of the main decks, 412 when you count all of the alternate forms. In Pokemon Go, now the numbers for this are just for the home sheet, but Pokemon Go, I added them together. I have a total of 98 Pokemon on Pokemon Home or on Pokemon Go waiting to be transferred. And then my wife has 145 Pokemon that are marked between her home account and her Go account, just waiting to trade over, since it only allows me to do 10 of those trades a day. I can get it maybe a couple of times a week when we share some days off and have all of that going on. But yeah, that's pretty much what we're looking at. So be on the lookout for that. Anybody who wants in, check the Discord channel. I believe there's a link right there on the YouTube thing, on the doobly-doos going around. So you can join up on the Discord if you want to get in on the Pokemon Go raids. You want to see some more live updates about what's going on. I do announcements on there when I'm getting ready to stream. There's stuff for different Pokemon games and different other games. If you're up for cozy games, I have the Stardew hard mode uploading daily. I have Fields of Mystria uploading daily. I just finished recording a few more days of that. I am working on trying to complete the museum at this time. And once Tiny Bookshop wraps up, I have another game that I'm going to be going for total completion on with Recettear and Item Shop Tale, which I am really looking forward to continuing that series. I've only recorded the first loop of that game so far, but I do look forward to continuing and trying to get the rest of the characters unlocked and to see how far I can go into that. All of that said, this has been a wonderful experience so far, even though I've only been at this for a couple weeks. This is my second weekly update, so be sure to tune in next week on Monday and see where we are at and where we're going to be leaving off. Thank you again for joining in. I do hope everybody out there has a safe week. Take care of yourselves. And if you're out there playing Pokemon out in the wilderness, please be safe.